Good morning, everybody. It's Mike. It is Sunday, the 23rd of February. This is your week ahead video. I'm putting this out there for free today. I had planned to do a whole bunch of charts. It's been a very frantic 24 hours for me. Duke is very sick. He has a liver problem. I don't know the extent of it yet. Please bear with me this week. It's going to be one of those weeks, guys. So my job today is to keep him calm and comfortable and try to get my head wrapped around back to trading for tomorrow morning. I will miss time tomorrow at some point, just so you know, I have to go back to the bed. So I'm going to try to do something with you guys later on, but let's for now jump into here and talk about what's going on. And guys, if you're a member, we have the whole 2025 Outperform list. It's in a folder in Discord called 2025 Outperform names. There's a webinar on it, and there is a um, link to this list as well there. So please go in there, look at that for things I like here, and you can see where things are hitting the trigger. And we're going to go over that tomorrow, assuming my hate day doesn't get away from me. Okay, for everybody else, here we go. This week, data perspective. Consumer confidence is a big one on Tuesday. Why? Because everybody's worried about the consumer. So another bad consumer reading could be problematic for this market. We have a bunch of Fed speak, not a big deal. Crude report, nobody cares. Then Thursday and Friday, I'll open the room early for these. We have GDP at 8:30, see how the economy's doing, and then PCE, the Fed favorite, on Friday morning. Right, so those there will be busy watching that. There's also a fairly robust week of earnings coming up on tap. Hims on Monday night after the close. I've never traded it, but I'll watch it. You got Riot in there. I know you guys like that for Blockcoin. Cliffs, the big one I would want to trade would be Zoom. Doug's a fan of Zoom. We're going to go over that one of these days, Doug, when we get a chance. But Zoom looks good. Then we get into some retail names. You have Home Depot coming up. You have DigitalOcean on Tuesday morning. Kava, Tuesday night. I'm interested in that one, trading that one. First Solar, Instacart, Lemonade, and Workday. AMC's no longer seems to be relevant. Lows on Wednesday morning. Wednesday night's the big ones. It's NVIDIA, it's Snowflake, it's Salesforce. On top of that, we have AI and Marathon and IONQ. I don't really trade those names, but we'll watch and see what they do. Another cruise line on Wednesday morning in NCLH. And then after the close on Thursday, SoundHound, Dell, Rocket Lab, Archer's in there. Dual is another one. So busy week. Fubo really doesn't matter here as they've been pretty much bought out by Disney. Let's talk about sentiment as we come into this week, and this is important, guys. So when we look at the oscillators here, we had a flush on the Nasdaq, negative 124, slightly oversold, but not a big deal yet, right? We're looking for moves down to this 300 area. Okay, so just the beginning of it. The New York Stock Exchange is still only on the negative side of neutral at negative 69. Your advanced decline lines all rolled over hard on Friday. The small caps getting hit very hard in the Nasdaq as well. Oh, the put to call remains, you would expect it to get a bearish reading. We're not there yet. We're only just into neutral. Market breadth, we have a nosedive on the Nasdaq, which has been weaker for the last year plus, whereas the Nasdaq has rolled, sorry, the New York Stock Exchange rolled over a bit, not all that bad. Highs versus lows on the Nasdaq Composite, plus 102, negative 400, 147. We inverted on Friday. We're inverted more here. Okay, this is not what we want to see. And on the New York Stock Exchange, okay, we are plus 50 versus negative 55. We just inverted here, though very slightly. So sentiment is turning to negative, not extremely negative yet, nowhere near where we'd want it to be. So let's jump into some charts and some stuff. I'm going to start off quickly with the ES. EAS put a new all-time high in on Wednesday. Here's your big down candle sliced through the 50-day, right? This is a take. We talked on this. We talked about on Thursday that that was a take notice candle. If you're in my room, we were talking about, I put the video out there for free Thursday night. Guys, if you're not following me on YouTube or following these videos, please do. When I put them out there for free, there's a reason. We got big follow through on Friday. The question is, where do we go from here? The NASDAQ, I'm just taking my thing here. We're going to get into all this. The NASDAQ here, right to the 50-day. Crude remained a big down candle, week 70. Overall, the market, weak crude is good for the market. However, it also be a sign of cautioning of a slowing world economy. Bonds pushed. This was a flight to safety. These weren't going up for the right reasons. So watch bonds. If bonds keep popping up, we have some problems. Gold put a new all-time high in on Thursday, holding steady. Bitcoin held in fairly well, still held 95, tried to break above 100, couldn't, came back down, trading in a 5K range. The VIX saying risk off. Okay, the VIX had a huge candle for it on Friday, although it did manage to close just back inside the Bollinger Band, but the Bollinger Band's opening up. Let's see what we do on Monday. We're looking for a close inside the Bollinger Band to say risk back on. HYG, not as bad a candle as I would have thought. The transports got blowing up, and the dollar had a big down day, which is typically good for the markets, but not much going on. So let's go into it here and let's talk about this week and what we can talk about. See here. The SPY, here's your all-time high. We're down. We hit the 50-day. We held the 50-day. Question is, do we bounce from here? Is this it? Or are we going to come down? If we want to come down, right, 594.83, you should write that down. That's a 3% pullback. These are typical. Okay, 582.56 is a 5% pullback. These are numbers to watch. In between, we're going to come across the 100-day, 592.46 still turning up. And the other thing to watch is this gap. This gap starts here at 589.08, and this gap goes down to 585. Right? They may want to come fill this gap, take that gap out, and then turn us back up. If we push up early this week or on Monday, remember, hold the 50-day. If we gap up, watch the 21-day. The 21-day there is at 604.45, and the 8-day is going to open lower, but it is at 606.90. Notice the 21-day is just starting to react. The 8-day is going to come in much faster. So again, head on a swivel this week. Let's see what we're going to get. We have big earnings from NVIDIA. That is a massive name, and that's the one that will move the markets. And with NVIDIA, remember, it is not about what they report. It's about guidance and how big they guide up. Everybody expects them to beat. Everybody expects them to guide up. The question is just how much. All right, so let's go into some other things here. Let's quickly talk about the Qs. Down candle just missed the 50-day, but did come back below this trend line. Again, we'll see how it reacts. The IWM has been just a bad trader for a while now. Broke down, closed under the 200 days, 213.97 is your next level to watch there. Energy kind of going sideways. The biotech and pharmas are going sideways. There hasn't been much going on there. The banks got hit this week. You have a big 2-day hit on the XLF, and it's much, much worse on the actual banks. JP Morgan under the 21-day, Goldman Sachs under the 21-day, Wells Fargo under the 21-day, Citigroup, as well. These were your leaders. Morgan Stanley under the 50. Watch the banks. If the banks bounce and start to push up, they were leading this, everything's fine. The banks continue to come in, the market is probably going to come with them. The semi sector had tried to bounce this week, was filling this gap. He had a big down candle on Friday. All is going to depend on NVIDIA. Right? We'll see what happens with NVIDIA, but here we are back down here. I own NVIDIA. I sold a bunch of it last week. I actually had some very nice trade. I bought the first salvo up around 126, bought another one down at the 114 level, and I dumped all but 100 shares up at the 140 level. So that was a nice bounce. Why did I sell it? Because I don't have conviction right now in this market. And, I still have some skin in the game, but I have room to add all the shares I sold back to it now. So we'll see what this one does. If they love the report, your all-time high is 153.13. If they don't like it, 113 here, this uptrend comes into play. And you can see on video, they have this uptrade coming in here. That will come in around 117.50. Speaking of other names, AMD continues to be weak. This is not on my go-to list. Avgo still has go-to, but the market is concerned about what they're doing in Intel. Let's talk Intel very quickly. Intel here, what's going on with Intel? There's reports and rumors that that companies are trying to buy them out, but nobody wants all of them. One company wants this piece, another company wants that go, specifically Avgo and Taiwan Semi. They're not working together, and neither one of them want every piece. And it doesn't sound like everybody, even the both sides, want every piece combined. That is a problem. This is going to take time to work out. That said, I am long some leaps now on this for a buyout because I do think at some point they're going to get taken out. Stock's probably safer. I sold half my leaps when I made nice money. I'm going to buy them back if we hold here on the 200-day. So let's go to big cap tech and what's going on here. Actually, let's go to retail. Walmart. Walmart sounded the alarm this week. So a lot of people have been talking about this. Walmart this week said we're worried about the consumer. They guided down. They said did not include tariffs. They said they'll manage around the tariffs. So Walmart's not the first retailer to warn about the consumer. Costco did almost a year ago, and Costco had no problems. There are definitely problems with the consumer out there. I'm not going to hide it. There is problems in this market. We know the consumer's weakening. We know inflation is pushing back up again. We have tariffs potentially coming in all over the place. We have earnings which haven't been good. The market could use a pullback. Walmart beaten down under the 50-day holding here. If it regains the 50 days, you can try some longs because it really was not as bad a report as you think. If not, then you have to start opening it up and saying, where do I like this one now? Do I like it the 100-day? Well, we haven't seen the 100-day, by the way, in a year. So, the 50-day is held. So this is a big spot, right? We're below it. Do we reclaim it? If we reclaim the 50-day, it's probably good. Sticking with this theme, let's go to Costco. Costco came in, held the 100-day. It likes to hold the 100-day. This is where chart work comes in. Bounced all the way up to a new high, pulled back, bounced off the 21-day on Friday. Still one of the best companies out there. If that holds, it's a signal for a long on that one. So keep some of those in mind. All right, let's go to big cap tech. Meta finally pulling back. It had 20 up days in a row before pulling back under the 21-day. It likes the 50-day. That's at what, 646.37. So that would be an area to watch if you like Meta. Microsoft, despite the news in quantum computing, got dumped again. Again, this name has problems. If it could have popped, 422.86 was a gap. Now we watch this 404 area and then 400 again to see if that's going to hold. Again, there's not a lot good going on here at Microsoft, and it's in a 52-week long sideways channel. Amazon, I own Amazon. Sold a bunch of it. Don't have a lot left, but have enough. It's losing this upper level, right? Filled this little gap down here. Here's your 100-day. Does it hold the 100-day? Yeah, it kind of likes it. That's an area to watch. If it holds that, you'll probably see me adding back to that one. Otherwise, I'll be watching down for the 200-day at 197. I don't own Google. I'm not in a rush to get into Google. Overall, I still like it, but I didn't love the report. Watching that 200-day, that would be an interesting spot to see it. 200-day down there at 175.70. Apple holding in like a rock star. Why is Apple so strong in a weak market? After that report, their report was a mess, right? They're up because, they're working on AI with Baidu in China, and then, a lot of conversations about moving moving production to the United States. Please, that would take years and years and years, and the cost would go through the roof. More likely, they're going to keep their production, move more and more production away from China to India and other countries that they don't have tariffs in. But to push it here in the United States, it's probably just saying yes, we'll consider looking at it, but probably no real interest. If this market is strong, I would keep this one on your radar. See if it can push up and run the all-time high as 260. If not, see if it comes down in this area down here around 227 was support last time. Oh, what else we have out there? We talked about a bunch of these names. We didn't talk about Tesla. Tesla's a mess. Okay, this is in a head and shoulders pattern that's developed. Here's your left shoulder, your head, your right shoulder. We broke below that. It's coming down. You have an H cell pattern here on the daily. Here's your pole, your little H cell pattern. You would look for it to come down. Test this low. You could write that down. That low is 325.10 and then go lower. 320 is a major area. We called this out last time. For those of you who weren't in the room with me, it bounced off the 320 pre-market. It was perfect bounce and came down. That's your first level to watch under 320. Then we start looking down here into this 308 area, and then see that big gap at 275 if it wants to come down and fill it. Musk is busy with the government. There are reports that his sales, especially in Europe and in China, are off a cliff, and he's not home taking care of business. Again, if you're buying it, and you believe in Tesla, it's about his vision. It's not about the EV sales right now. EV sales become, to him, not important. So I'm looking for a lower on that one. That's on my put list for this week, just as an FYI. Outside of that, Roku, they had that report. We talked about that. They have potential to be bought out, and I do think they have potential to be bought out. After that report, this is where if you're somebody, you start looking to buy them, you'll see what they do, see if they can break, they're coming back down, giving you an entrance here. I like it off the 21-day or the 50-day if you're looking for a buyout and long-term times. Palantir, despite everything holding in well, I personally would rather buy Palantir on the 50-day down here at the 84 area if we can get it. But this is one of the stronger names, and it's not giving up the ghost easily, right? They keep coming for it. Right. So touching on a couple names here, and I know this is a little longer than the normal video. We have a lot going on this week. My focus will be on, first of all, do we bounce or we sell? For selling, we're going to look for some shorts on some of these names, especially names like Tesla, some of the big tech names, which have been weaker, the semis, and then we'll focus on earnings names for action there. And we have big data at the end of the week. By the way, historically, February, the last 2 weeks of the month are weak. Guess what? Playing out as normal. So wouldn't be surprised if we start bouncing at the end of the week. Everybody enjoy your Sunday, and I hope to catch you all live in the room on Monday morning.